Next up, we have Chillchuck. Chillchuck I have down as a Lightfoot halfling, which gives him a little bit more dexterity, a little bit more stealth. I have him as a thief rogue. His role in the party is to be sneaky, to get around, to dismantle traps, to break into chests, things like that. I have him as a guild artisan background. Before he was an adventurer, he was a locksmith. And so he was part of that whole locksmithing, the kind of guild artisanry grouping. And I have him as true neutral. Chillchuck isn't necessarily out to do good. He's just out to make money for his family. He's not going to harm people, but he's also not necessarily going to always go out of his way to help people. And he doesn't really need to follow any laws. He is true neutral. Next, we have the party's cook, Ceni. I have Ceni as a Kaladesh dwarf. Reason being, the Kaladesh gives a perk to wisdom, and Ceni is a very wise individual. But it also has more of a focus on artisanry than the other dwarf options. And whereas it doesn't necessarily mention cooking directly in the information for the Kaladesh dwarf, I kind of lead it to include that. I have him as a creation bard. He's not really one who's going to be in the middle of the fight necessarily, but he's all about creating food, creating something that can nourish his friends and give them the effects they need to win and get through the dungeon. I have him as a guild artisan as well. He's a cook, he's a chef, he is an artisan, whereas he's not necessarily part of a guild for that. It's the primary focus of his character. And I have him as neutral good for the same reasons as the others. And finally, we have Laios' sister, Fallon. I have Fallon as a Nephalia human. Being Nephalia means that she will have more proficiencies and more skills than what are standard. I have her as an abjuration wizard. Her focus is protection and healing and staving off negative effects on her party and her friends. I have her as a Lorehold student. For the same reasons as Marcille, they were actually friends in school. That's how they know each other. She's focused on the academic side of magics. And I have her as neutral good as for the same reasons as the rest of the party. This one was one of the easier ones to do because Delicious in Dungeon is kind of set up like D&D. There are a lot of the same species and abilities in both. Needless to say, this was a really fun one to do. I love the show. I think it's absolutely hilarious and really well written.